A woman started getting emails from her boss asking about files she'd never heard of, meeting notes that didn't exist, projects she wasn't assigned to. She thought he had her confused with someone else, until she checked her sent folder and found hundreds of emails she never wrote, replies to meetings she never attended, work she never did. Someone had been accessing her work account for 6 months, doing her job, and doing it well enough that nobody questioned it. Welcome to No One Noticed, where real stories teach you to recognize warning signs before it's too late. Today, I'm sharing 3 stories about patterns everyone missed: the work emails she didn't send, the neighbor's dog that wouldn't stop barking at her apartment, and the gym membership he didn't sign up for. By the end, you'll know exactly what to look for when normal stops being normal. Kindly subscribe to No One Noticed and hit that notification bell. We tell stories like this every day. Let's begin. My boss emailed me about a file I'd never heard of. It was a Tuesday morning. I opened my work email, saw the message, "Thanks for the updated report. Can you send the raw data too?" I read it twice. What report? What data? I checked my recent projects. Nothing matched. No report I'd sent recently. I replied, "I think you have me confused with someone else. I didn't send a report." He responded immediately, "Check your sent folder from yesterday, 4:47 p.m. I checked. There it was. Email sent from my account yesterday at 4:47 p.m. with the report attached. Detailed financial analysis, 50 pages, professional, thorough. I didn't write it. I called IT, told them someone had accessed my account, sent emails pretending to be me. They checked the logs. Email was sent from my computer, my IP address, while I was logged in. "You sure you didn't send it?" the IT guy asked. "I was in a meeting." "Maybe you sent it before the meeting, forgot about it?" I checked my calendar. The meeting was from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. No way I'd sent it at 4:47. Unless I'd left my computer unlocked and someone used it while I was gone. But my office door locks automatically, and nobody else had a key. IT said they'd look into it, changed my password, enabled 2-factor authentication. I went back to work, tried to forget about it. 3 days later, my boss emailed in, "Great job on the presentation. Client loved it." What presentation? I checked my sent folder. Email sent Thursday, 11:23 a.m. with a presentation attached. 20 slides, client proposal, professional design. I was at lunch Thursday at 11:23, nowhere near my computer. But the email had been sent from my account, from my computer, while I was logged in. I started checking my sent folder every day, looking for emails I didn't send. Found them constantly, 2-3 emails a day, all work-related, all professional, all from my account. Replies to meetings I didn't attend, reports I didn't write, updates on projects I wasn't assigned to. Someone was doing my job, using my email, my computer, my credentials, and they were doing it better than me. I started documenting everything. Screenshots of emails, times I was away from my desk, proof I couldn't have sent them. Took it all to my manager, showed her the pattern. Someone is accessing my account, sending emails as me. I need IT to investigate properly. She looked at the emails, read a few. "These are all good work. You're doing great." "I didn't write them." "Then who did?" "I don't know. That's what I need IT to find out." She forwarded everything to IT, told them to take it seriously. IT dug deeper, checked server logs, access records, everything. Came back with their findings. All emails were sent from my computer, my login session, no remote access, no suspicious logins, no sign of compromise. "According to our logs, you sent these emails," the IT director said. "There's no evidence anyone else accessed your account."
But I didn't send them. The logs don't lie. I went back to my desk, sat there staring at my computer. If nobody was hacking my account and nobody was using my computer, then how were these emails being sent? I set up a camera, small one, hidden, pointed at my desk. If someone was coming into my office while I was gone, I'd catch them. First day with the camera, I left for a meeting at 2 p.m., came back at 4 p.m., checked my sent folder, email sent at 3:17 p.m., project update. I reviewed the camera footage, 2 hours of recording. My office door never opened, nobody entered. But at 3:17 p.m., I watched my computer screen change. Email program opened, new message composed, report attached, email sent. By itself. Nobody sitting at the desk, nobody in the room. Just my computer sending emails while I was gone. I watched the footage 5 times, looking for something I'd missed, a reflection, a hand, anything. Nothing. Just my empty office, my computer working by itself. I unplugged my computer that night, took the power cord with me, left the machine completely off. Next morning, plugged it back in, turned it on, checked my sent folder. Email sent last night, 11:34 p.m., status report. Sent while my computer was unplugged and powered off. That wasn't possible.
I went to HR, told them everything. The emails, the camera footage, the unplugged computer. They listened, took notes, said they'd investigate. Week later, they called me in. My manager was there, HR director, IT director. We've reviewed everything, the HR director said. We think you're experiencing stress. We'd like to suggest you take some time off. I'm not stressed, someone is using my account. The emails are high quality, they're helping the company. If you wrote them and don't remember, that's concerning. I didn't write them. They looked at each other. That look, the one that says they think you're losing it. We're going to require you to see our workplace counselor, my manager said, just to talk through what you're experiencing. They thought I was having a breakdown, that I was sending emails and forgetting, that stress was making me delusional. I quit 2 weeks later, couldn't take it anymore. The emails kept coming, nobody believed me, and my computer kept working when it shouldn't. Got a new job in November. Different company, new computer, new email account. First week was fine. Normal work, normal emails, everything I actually sent. Second week, my new boss emailed me. Thanks for the quarterly analysis, very thorough. I checked my sent folder. Email sent yesterday, 5:15 p.m., with an analysis attached. I was in onboarding training yesterday at 5:15, didn't have access to my computer, but the email had been sent from my account, from my desk. It's still happening. Different job, different computer, same pattern. Someone is doing my work, sending it from my account, and doing it well enough that nobody questions it. I stopped trying to explain it, stopped reporting it, just let it happen. Because whoever's sending these emails is better at my job than I am, and as long as my boss is happy, maybe it's better not to ask questions, even if I have no idea who's typing on my keyboard when I'm not there. If your work output suddenly improved but you weren't doing the work, would you report it or accept it? When IT logs contradict physical evidence, camera footage, being in meetings, which do you trust? If something impossible keeps helping you, at what point does helpful become concerning?
My neighbor's dog wouldn't stop barking at my apartment. I lived in a duplex, shared wall. Neighbor on the other side had a German Shepherd, big dog, usually quiet. But starting in July, it started barking every time I came home, every time I left, and sometimes in the middle of the night, just barking, facing my side of the building. First couple times I figured it was normal, dogs bark, whatever, but it kept happening every single day, multiple times a day. And it wasn't just barking, it was aggressive, intense, like it was trying to warn someone. I mentioned it to my neighbor, Harris, nice guy. Had the dog for 5 years. Never been a problem before. Yeah, sorry about that, he said. Don't know what's gotten into him. He just stares at your wall and barks. Any idea why? No clue. Vet says he's healthy, no anxiety issues. He just started doing it last month. I let it go. Figured the dog would get used to me eventually. Didn't happen. August came. Dog barked more, sometimes for hours, always facing my apartment. I'd be inside, watching TV, hear the dog barking through the wall, scratching at it, like it was trying to get through. Harris apologized constantly, said he'd tried everything. Training, calming medication, nothing worked. The dog was fixated on my apartment, specifically my bedroom wall, the one we shared. One night in late August, I woke up at 3 a.m. Dog was barking, loud, frantic. I got up, put my ear to the wall, could hear it on the other side, right there, barking, scratching, going crazy. I knocked on the wall. Quiet! The barking stopped immediately. Then I heard something else. Movement on my side of the wall, inside my apartment. Footsteps, slow, deliberate, coming from my closet. I froze, listened. The footsteps moved across my bedroom, toward my bed. I turned on the light. Nobody there. Room was empty. But the dog started barking again, even louder now, and the footsteps stopped. I checked my entire apartment, every room, every closet, under the bed, behind furniture. Nobody there, nothing out of place. But I'd heard footsteps, clear as anything, walking across my bedroom floor. And the dog had heard them too. That's why it was barking. I didn't sleep the rest of the night, just sat in my living room, lights on, listening. The dog barked on and off until sunrise. Next morning, I talked to Harris again. Your dog was barking at 3 a.m. I think there might be something in my apartment. Like what? I don't know, but I heard footsteps right when your dog was barking. He looked at me, that look, the one that says he's trying to decide if I'm serious. You heard footsteps? In your apartment? But nobody was there? I know how it sounds, but your dog heard it too. That's why he was barking. Harris nodded slowly. Look, I'll try to keep him quiet at night, but he's been really fixated on your place. I don't know why. I went back inside, started paying attention to when the dog barked. It wasn't random, there was a pattern. The dog barked when I left for work, like it was warning me not to go. The dog barked when I came home, like it was warning me not to come in. And the dog barked at night, between 2 a.m. and 4 a.m. every single night, always facing my bedroom wall. I set up a camera in my bedroom, motion activated, pointed at the wall the dog always barked at. If something was there, I'd catch it. First night, 2:47 a.m., camera triggered. I checked the footage the next morning. The camera had captured movement, not a person, just movement. The air looked different, distorted like heat waves on asphalt, and it moved across the room from the wall toward my bed. The dog was barking the entire time on the audio, frantic, desperate. Then the movement stopped right next to my bed where I'd been sleeping, stayed there for 4 minutes, then moved back to the wall, disappeared. The dog stopped barking. I watched the footage 10 times, trying to understand what I was seeing. It wasn't a person, wasn't an animal, just air that looked wrong, moving on its own. I showed Harris. He watched without saying anything. Your dog can see this, I said. That's why he's barking. Harris swallowed. What is it? I don't know. He looked at the wall between our units. How long has this been happening? Since July. When did your dog start barking? July. We both stood there, looking at the shared wall. You should move, Harris said finally. Yeah, I'll help you pack. I moved out 3 days later. Found a new place across town, different building, no shared walls. Harris helped me move. Didn't say much, just helped load boxes. As I was leaving, he said, the dog stopped barking. When? The second you started packing. He's been quiet ever since. I looked back at the duplex, my old bedroom window. Whatever it was, it's gone now, Harris said, or maybe it followed you. I didn't want to think about that. Moved into my new apartment, studio, 3rd floor, nobody above or below me. First week was quiet, no barking, no footsteps, no distorted air on cameras. Second week, I met my neighbor across the hall, older woman, lived there for 10 years. We made small talk, normal neighbor stuff. Then she said, "Is your dog okay? I heard it barking last night." "I don't have a dog." She looked confused. "I heard barking coming from your apartment around 3 a.m. Must have been someone else's. No, it was definitely from your unit. I checked, stood right outside your door. Barking was coming from inside." I thanked her, went back to my apartment. Set up the camera again, same spot, pointed at the bedroom. That night, 2:51 a.m., camera triggered. Same thing, air distorting, moving across the room, stopping next to my bed. And on the audio, barking, faint but there, like a dog was in my apartment warning me. But I didn't have a dog. Harris was right. It followed me. Whatever it is, whatever the dog could see that I couldn't, it's still here, standing next to my bed every night between 2 and 4 a.m. And somewhere, a dog that isn't mine is barking, trying to warn me about something I can't see, something that won't leave. If a typically calm animal suddenly becomes fixated on a specific location, is that worth investigating? When your camera records something your eyes can't see, which do you trust? If something seems to follow you between locations, is moving an escape or just a relocation?
I got a bill for a gym membership I didn't sign up for. Came in the mail, monthly statement, $45 charged to my credit card for a gym called Ironworks. Address was across town, I'd never been there. I called my credit card company, told them it was fraud. I didn't authorize this charge. They looked into it, called me back. "The charge is legitimate. You signed up in person, July 18th. We have your signature on file." I didn't sign up for any gym. "According to our records, you did. The contract was signed at the location. Would you like us to email you a copy?" "Yes." They sent it. Gym membership contract, 1-year commitment, signed on July 18th. The signature looked exactly like mine. Perfect match. But I didn't sign it. I was at work all day July 18th, never left the office. I called the gym directly, asked to speak to a manager. "I need to cancel this membership. I didn't sign up for it." "Let me pull up your account," the manager said. "Okay, I see you here. Signed up July 18th. Been checking in regularly ever since." "What? You've been coming in 3 times a week? Monday, Wednesday, Friday mornings? Usually around 6 a.m.? "No, I haven't. I've never been to your gym." "Hold on." Pause, keyboard clicking. "I'm looking at our security footage right now. You checked in this morning at 6:15 a.m. "That's impossible. I was home this morning." "Sir, I'm looking at you on camera. You're wearing a gray t-shirt, black shorts. You're on the treadmill right now." My hands went cold. "Can you send me that footage?" "We don't usually share security footage, but given the situation, yeah, give me your email." I gave it to him. Hung up. Waited. Email came through 10 minutes later. Video attachment. I opened it. Security footage from that morning, 6:15 a.m. timestamp. Someone walked into the gym, scanned their membership card, my membership card. The camera got a clear shot of their face. It was me. Same face, same build, same everything. Walking into a gym I'd never been to, using a membership I didn't sign up for. I watched them walk to the treadmill, start running like it was their normal routine, but I was home at 6:15 this morning. I'd been in bed, asleep. Unless I was sleepwalking, driving across town, working out, then driving home, all while asleep, that didn't make sense. I checked my car, odometer. Mileage hadn't changed significantly. If I'd been driving to the gym 3 times a week, the miles would show it. They didn't. So how was I on that footage?
I drove to the gym, walked in, asked to speak to the manager I'd talked to. He came out, looked at me, did a double take. You were just here this morning." "I wasn't. I was home. Can you show me the footage again?" We went to his office. He pulled up the security feed.
This morning, 6:15 a.m., same person, same face, my face, working out. Is this some kind of twin situation? He asked. I don't have a twin. He rewound the footage, showed me the sign-up day, July 18th. I watched myself walk in, fill out paperwork, sign the contract, hand over my credit card, all captured on camera, clear footage, definitely me. But I didn't do it. Can I see the physical contract I signed? He pulled the file, handed it to me. My signature, my credit card number, my address, all in my handwriting. I compared it to my driver's license signature. Perfect match. This doesn't make sense, I said. The manager shrugged. Look, I don't know what to tell you. You signed up. You've been coming in regularly. Whether you remember it or not, you're using the membership. I left the gym, sat in my car, trying to process this. Someone who looked exactly like me, who signed like me, who had my credit card information, was coming to this gym 3 times a week pretending to be me, or I was doing it and couldn't remember. I called my doctor, made an appointment, told him about the situation. He ran tests, CT scan, MRI, blood work, cognitive tests, everything. Results came back normal. No signs of dissociative disorder, no blackouts, no sleepwalking, no medical explanation for memory loss. You seem completely healthy, he said. Then how am I showing up at a gym I've never been to? He didn't have an answer. I decided to catch myself, or whoever was pretending to be me. I went to the gym on a Friday morning, 5:45 a.m., before I usually checked in. Waited in my car, watching the entrance. 6:07 a.m., someone walked up to the door. It was me. Same face, same walk, same clothes I'd seen in the footage. But I was sitting in my car, watching myself walk into the gym. I got out, ran to the door, followed them inside. Saw them at the front desk, scanning their membership card. Hey, I shouted. They turned around, looked at me. Their face, my face, staring at each other. They didn't look surprised, didn't look scared, just looked at me, calm. Who are you? I asked. They smiled. I'm you. No, you're not. I'm the you that actually works out, the you that takes care of yourself, the you that shows up. That doesn't make sense, doesn't it? They turned back to the desk, walked toward the gym floor. I followed them. You can't just take my identity, use my credit card. They stopped, looked at me again. You're not using it. Someone should. They walked to the treadmill, got on, started running. I stood there, watching myself run, while I stood completely still. The manager came over. Sir, you're going to need to leave. You're not checked in. That's me, on the treadmill. That's me. He looked at the treadmill, looked at me. You're both here. Exactly. So which one is actually me? He didn't answer, just called security. Security escorted me out, told me not to come back unless I was checked in as a member. I sat in my car, watched the gym entrance. 7:23 a.m. They walked out. My face, my clothes, my walk. They saw me in the car, waved, got into a car I didn't recognize, drove away. I followed them. They drove to my apartment building, parked, got out, walked to my unit, unlocked the door with a key, went inside. I waited 5 minutes, then went up, used my key, opened the door. Nobody there. Apartment was empty. But I just watched them walk in. Door hadn't opened since. They'd gone inside and disappeared. I checked every room, closets, bathroom, under the bed. Nothing. No sign anyone had been there. I called the gym, canceled the membership, told them I didn't care about the contract. I wasn't paying anymore. They said I'd signed a 1-year agreement. Canceling early would cost $500. I paid it. Worth it to make this stop. The charges stopped. Membership canceled. But 3 weeks later, I got another email. Welcome to Ironworks. Thanks for signing up. New membership, different location, same gym chain. I checked my credit card. $45 charge, same day. I called them. I just canceled my membership.
"This is a different location, sir. You signed up yesterday, in person." I asked for the footage. They sent it. Same thing. Me walking in, signing up, starting a membership, while I was at work yesterday, while I was nowhere near that gym. It's still happening. Different locations, same pattern. Someone who looks exactly like me, signs exactly like me, has my credit card information. Joining gyms, working out, living a version of my life I'm not living. I stopped trying to cancel, stopped trying to catch them. Just let the charges go through. Because whoever they are, whatever they are, they're healthier than me. And maybe that's fine. Maybe I need someone to show up when I don't, even if I have no idea who they really are or why they look exactly like me.
3 stories, 3 patterns everyone missed. Emails being sent from accounts with no unauthorized access. A dog barking at something cameras can barely detect. A gym membership signed by someone who shares your face. Here's what connects all 3. Documented evidence of things that shouldn't be possible. IT logs that show no hack. Security footage that shows you in 2 places. Camera recordings of distorted air that animals can sense. These aren't the kinds of stories that end with arrests or explanations. They're the kinds that end with people adapting, accepting, moving on because there's no other choice. The e-work emails. When systems show one thing and physical reality shows another, we usually trust the systems, but maybe we shouldn't. The dog. Animals detect environmental changes we miss. When they warn us repeatedly about the same thing, maybe listen. The gym membership. If someone who looks exactly like you is living a parallel life and they're doing a better job of it than you are, is that a problem or a solution? None of these people got closure, no explanations, no revelations, just evidence that something impossible was happening, and they had to decide whether to fight it or live with it. Most of them chose to live with it, because fighting reality when you can't change it just makes you look crazy. So here's what you need to remember. 1. Documentation proves something happened, but it doesn't always explain how or why. 2. When multiple independent sources confirm something impossible, maybe the impossible part needs re-evaluating. 3. Sometimes accepting the unexplainable is more practical than destroying yourself trying to explain it. The warning signs are always there. Emails you didn't send, dogs that won't stop barking, charges for memberships you don't remember. Small, impossible things that pile up until you can't ignore them anymore. Drop a comment. Tell me which story resonated most. Tell me what you learned. And tell me honestly, if you found proof you were in 2 places at once, would you investigate or would you just let it be? Subscribe to No One Noticed if you want more stories like these. New videos every day. And remember, sometimes the scariest thing isn't what's happening. It's realizing you'll never understand why it's happening and having to live with it anyway. I'll see you in the next one.